Dragonflies at Dusk.
Part 2.
The woman's presence was immediate. She moved with a fluid grace, her dress swaying as she stepped through the doorway. Her beauty was striking, her eyes immediately scanning the room before finally setting on Tovi. Akani tensed, his gaze lingering on her for a moment too long. "You should go home," Mana muttered, his tone low and firm. Akani nodded, but didn't move. The woman was seated now, leaning toward Tovi, her smile faint and unreadable. Outside, dragonflies began to gather near the windows, their faint glow barely noticeable against the night. The road home was darker than usual, the moonlight faint and fragmented by the forest canopy. Akani walked quickly, the weight of the evening pressing on his shoulders. The hum of the dragonfly wings grew louder as he neared the forest's edge, their shimmering bodies weaving erratic patterns in the dim light around him. A faint glow flickered ahead. Akani froze, squinting through the trees. "Tovi? Tovi!" The voice startled him. Tovi stumbled out of the darkness, his face pale and his movements frantic. "She is here. We have to go." "What are you talking about?" Akani demanded, his voice shaking. Before Tovi could answer, a low rustling came from the shadows. She stepped into the clearing, her figure impossibly tall, her glowing eyes locked onto them, her lips curving into a smile that was both beautiful and terrifying and distorted. "Run," Tovi whispered, his voice trembling. They ran. Akani's legs burned as he sprinted down the road, dragging Tovi behind him. The sound of her in pursuit was faint at first, a whisper, a movement, a flicker of shadow, here, there. But before they knew it, it grew louder, faster, until it was as though the forest itself was chasing them. They looked back, and they saw her close, pursuing, running back and forth, her body gyrating and moving as her face grew bigger in her body and her hands and her nails stuck out, getting ever so closer to them. It felt as though the forest itself was chasing them. Tovi stumbled, falling hard onto the dirt. Akani stopped, his breath ragged as he turned back. "She's coming," Tovi whimpered, his voice breaking. The woman emerged from the darkness, her body twisting unnaturally, her claws glinting in the faint light. Akani grabbed Tovi's arm, pulling him to his feet. "Move!" Her laughter echoed behind them, cold and hollow. The dragonflies began to swarm, their hum rising into a deafening crescendo around their heads. The house was haven when Akani finally stumbled through the door, dragging Tovi behind him. His mother, Ani, rushed forward, eyes wide open with worry. "What happened?" she demanded. But Akani shook his head, too terrified, too shaken to answer. "Lock the door. Turn off the lights," he rasped. His mother hesitated, but the urgency in his voice, it quickly silenced her questions. She moved quickly to the door and she bolted it. And then she reached for her cassette player, her fingers trembling as she pressed play. Now, Ani was a devout Christian, and like the good lady she was, she would play her hymns on her old cassette radio from her old cassette tapes whenever she had the time or enough batteries. The crackle of static from the cassette gave way to soft church hymns, their melody filling the room with fragile but also familiar calm. Kani sank onto the floor, his back against the wall. Tovi lay behind him, flat on his back, breathing, shallow but steady. Ani sat nearby, her lips moving in silent prayer with her eyes closed. Outside, the rain had started to fall, its faint rhythmic pitter-patter mingling with the hymns as it slowly got louder and louder. And far beyond the village, in the shadowed depths of the forest, the dragonflies danced, their wings catching the faint light of the rising moon. And there was no sign of her.